My name is Georgina Chadderton and I'm a comic artist. I write and draw autobiographic comics, so stories about myself, under the pen name George Rex Comics. Like most comic drawers or animators or people that watch Saturday morning cartoons, we've been drawing for years and years and years. Ever since I could hold a pencil, I was drawing. My music teachers in high school encouraged me. One of them was a super comic nerd and saw that I liked drawing, so I started drawing comics about my music teachers. I have mild dyslexia, so I find reading quite hard, even though I love books and I love reading and finding out things and love stories. Whereas comics had the visual medium, so you could visualize it as well as having the text. So it helped not only with my own reading, but it sort of got me in with the visuals as well. And I'm a very visual learner. I am such a nerd. I love comics. It's a weird thing. If you love comics, it's such a strange feeling when you hold the physical medium and you look at it and there's visual and words and it's a story and it's exciting and there's action. Comics can be anything. Lots of people associate either manga, so Japanese style comics, or superheroes with the comic genre, but there is like everything in between. It's just very exciting. It's colours, it's pretty, and you can do anything in comics. Every comic I make seems to be a different process. I haven't quite figured out the perfect one. But generally, what happens is I write a dot point list of the stories. So these are the things I want to cover in the story. Then I do my blue pencil. So in comics, I often use a blue pencil because they don't show up in a scan. So you scan in pure black and white and then the blues magically disappear and it looks like you're a perfect illustrator. So you do your blue pencils, then you ink them. In black, I use a felt tip pen because I love my fine liners. For many of them, they get flattened very quickly because I'm a hard presser. I often do my colours on the computer. So on Photoshop, so I do a flat colour or a sort of screen colour. And then you print it out, fold and staple, and sell it as zine fair. Like that's the physical process, but making up stories is just sort of going out and experiencing life or writing down whatever ideas come to you. That's enough. Oh Brother is my first graphic novel. It's a book about growing up with a brother with severe autism, and it's from the point of view of the sibling, so myself. It's sort of talking about how autism affects the family and what it means to be someone who has a sibling with a severe disability and how that's going to affect their future and how it affected their past and how they see the world. It's just about growing up with my brother Rob and all the mischief he got into, the things you learn about other human beings and being around them that are a little bit different. So I've sort of done it in a 3-act play, and each act is started with an illustrated curtain that pulls apart, and then you've got an act, and each act is on a theme. Theme 1 is communication, theme 2 is obsessions, and theme 3 is fears, and then there'll be a little epilogue as well at the end. So each section sort of deals with various things that people associate with autism. So communication, and particularly for me, communication is the biggest one with my brother. I wish I could talk to him. I wish we could have a normal conversation and we could just go hang out and have a coffee. That was about communication and all the things my parents went through, and tried to help get him be better at communicating. So he does have some minor sign language, but Rob is a very strong personality and he doesn't want to do things unless he wants to do them. He's a very food-focused person. He loves Vegemite in particular, so the whole book is just covered in pictures of him in Vegemite. It talks about everyday life things of having to lock the house and having to lock your bedroom. Like every single room had to be locked, the fridge had to be locked, the pantry had to be locked, again because of those obsessions. And then fears, which is more, there's some fears of Rob, so he was very afraid of the dentist. He hated haircuts as well. He was very terrified of scissors, and like he would be if you couldn't explain it to someone. Imagine if you didn't know what was happening and someone like big scissors coming out, you're like, what is going on? So it talks about those fears, but they're also my fears as being a sibling and what the future holds. So the epilogue is sort of more to talk about how I know him and how we hang out. So it'll probably end of that sort of scene of us on Boxing Day this year, just sort of all hanging out together watching the cricket. It sounds so silly and mundane, but it's the fact that it is silly and mundane, and it's not something we've been able to have very often. So, but hopefully that will capture how important family is. It's very much a book about family. I don't think I would be who I am without Rob. The book's written hopefully for 12-year-old me's out there. When I was 12, there was not a lot of media about autism. You just couldn't explain it to your friends. It was a really hard thing to explain. Hopefully my book will be a source of not only information for people who don't know anything about autism and how it affects the family, but also So people who are like myself, who are a sibling, can show their friends and they can go, hey, this is what it's like. It's kind of fun, it's kind of sucky, but it's my life and I want you to know what it's like.